really gold looks like it's made a bottom. Interestingly enough, as soon as the dollar topped, that's when gold basically bottomed and started to move back up. But I continue to be a bull here on gold. Like, I mean, it's at short-term resistance right here. And you can see this little kind of area right here. But you break above this, it doesn't take a lot to get back to the all-time highs on gold, which is just up here, right? So again, the beauty of it is you're really only, I would say, 10% away. Well, maybe about 15% on gold away from the all-time highs. And I think in 2023, gold, unfortunately, outpaces Bitcoin's gains again. I think Bitcoin probably net for the year when we're all said and done in 2023 will be around flat. So I think it's going to go down to 9,000, 10,000, but then maybe by the end of the year end around 20. But I think gold could well be, north of 2,000, 2,100 an ounce by year end. So again, it's long-term Bitcoin's going to smoke gold. It's going to blow it away in terms of returns. But, you're still going through the growing pains of Bitcoin right now. So probably gold's my favorite for 2023. Sure, absolutely. Let's take a look. So silver has a lot of resistance, but silver's had an awesome move. Like silver literally is up from the lows in August. We're talking, over basically 30+%, 35%. So that's like a really nice move, but you can see all these lines here. So it has a lot of resistance now from 24 all the way to about 25 and a half. I still like silver long-term, mid-term even, but I do think, again, it's getting into a lot of resistance here on the chart. So you have to think that maybe it needs to consolidate, pull back a little bit.
I mean, that chart looks a little bit more spicy than gold. Have you been watching Solana or FTT lately?
Yeah. I actually like, I mean, Solana is such a tricky one, right? Because we know obviously that supposedly FTX holds. I don't know if they still hold a ton of it, but the one positive is you have this little consolidation pattern, which is actually slightly bullish. The tricky thing with this is that there was so much initially when FTX collapsed. I saw this all over Twitter, like, get out of Solana, it's going to go to zero. If it doesn't, I think you're going to get an epic short squeeze in Solana because that probably caused so many shorts to jump on board that at some point they have to cover. And you could see Solana go really quickly back to like $26 or so right in here, which right now that would be about 100% move to the upside in Solana. But again, it's risky, right? Of course. This is where transparency would be. I would love some transparency. Like, what is Alameda holding? What is are they still going to? Like, we have no clue about this stuff, and it just makes it really tough to make decisions. So I think Solana has great technology and great things, but it just Solana keeps shooting itself in the foot. Like, how many outages have they had? And it's just like, in the crypto world, you can't afford to keep having these unforced errors. So they need to get their, excuse my language, shit together so that they can actually I think they have a chance to be something big, but you can't keep on having outages. You've got to get your stuff fixed. Once it went down to a ridiculous level, I kind of was like, okay. Yeah. I'm like purgatory. I don't even because the thing is you'll see these little bounces in it, but for the most part, I expect it to just trickle down and eventually get to pennies on the dollar. I mean, it already is almost at pennies. Right around that dump period, yep. And then since then, honestly, volume has gotten so tiny, which just tells you that there's not a lot of players that are buying it anymore.
Ouchie. Yeah. Wrecked. FTT wrecked. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, FTT, I mean, the positive is for tax purposes, there's some tax loss selling people can do. So if you have big gains in certain cryptos, and obviously talk to your accountants, guys. I'm no accountant, but if you have 100,000 gain in something, but then you lost 100K by investing in FTX or FTT, you can then get rid of FTT and then you don't pay any taxes because 100,000 loss cancels out the 100,000 gain, and at least you're not paying extra taxes. So one of the interesting things about this is actually a bull flag again. So you're starting to make that same pattern here where you could draw a line here and to here, and you could see you had the up move and then you're flagging. So if this can break above 82 to $83, you probably get another move up. I would say potentially close to $100 on this. But again, it's a big if. It's right now it hasn't broken out. So it needs to break above this area right here. But it's an interesting chart. I mean, this is a chart that gets my attention with the consolidation. It's bullish consolidation. Yeah, interesting. So, I mean, this has had a great move. It's showing that Litecoin really was, leading things against Bitcoin. You can see how this has started to trail off a little, which tells you
Yeah.
Bitcoin's starting to move up against Litecoin. So it is starting to come in. Yeah, I mean, to me, it's not looking as good. Like you can see here, if I draw a trend line here with these lows, price is now below, right? So that would be a little
Oh.
bit of a concern to me. And really all that means is that Bitcoin may slightly outperform Litecoin or in the short term here. But yeah, that would be just a little bit of a concern once you get below that channel, that consolidation channel. Definitely. So if ETH looked pretty good, it had the same kind of bullish consolidation, a little bit more angled than Bitcoin. You can see it right here, and it's same thing. It broke out, but look at this. Just one of the interesting things about charts: the high here of today matches the high of this candle to the penny. So
Oh,
again,
wow.
that's where resistance was, and it stopped on a dime right there, and it's kind of pulled back a little bit. But I think that again, in general, I think there's a good chance that this breaks through this 1350 level. But then I would be, if I was long, I'm not long Ethereum right now, but if I was, I'd be looking to sell into 1500. There's two trend lines. There's this trend line sloping down and this one, and they both kind of converge around that 1500 level. So 1500 would be kind of your max upside technically here, if Ethereum can continue higher. Yeah, I think you're right to some extent. I think like the bad news, hopefully FTX kind of like now that he's been arrested, that's kind of the beginning of that feeling better. Like people start to feel better about the crypto markets. Like, okay, the bad guys are being punished here, hopefully. And so I think in the near term, that may get a relief rally. Again, for me, me, I'm still thinking we still have further downside to go before the lows are in. But at least in the near term, I mean, I am slightly bullish on the near term here. Like I'm a trader more, so like I'm in and out. So bear markets to me offer me more volatility, versus bull markets. Who needs me to help in a bull market? You just go long and you make money, right? So
Hmm.
so certainly I think people start to understand how important it is to learn how to read charts so that you don't get caught in another Bitcoin pop, where you're buying at the all-time highs, for instance. And then I think that's really good for the long term of investors and traders mindsets to start to learn a little bit, versus in the bull market no one needed to know anything. You just went long anything and you made 10x your money. Bought an NFT. I've gotten some given to me, but I've never bought an NFT. I heard that like Justin Bieber's NFT, he paid like what, he paid $1 million for it. It's worth like 100K or under 100K. I don't know. Like it's
Yeah.
some crazy stuff. But the thing is like for me, the NFT craze was kind of a signal that we were in a bubble. And
Yeah.
so it made me more nervous about, like, it made me realize that the end was coming for crypto. It doesn't mean NFTs won't be something in the future. It just, with all the hype that was going on, it was a warning sign. It was to be careful for me. That's always been the thing that scared me about why I
Yeah.
didn't want to invest in NFTs. Is I really like to be able to exit investments when I think I need to. Just a good
Exactly.
example of this is with real estate, right? So there was years back, I bought this piece of land in a good location, and I sunk a good chunk of my money in at the time, and there was a point where I was like, okay, now I have another opportunity. I really want that money. And then I had to put it on the market. It took me like months to sell it. And I was like, dude, I don't want to be like, I need my money liquid, right? So for me, NFTs kind of were that concern to me. It's like, if I have to get out of this, how much lower do I have to offer it just for someone to buy it?